Right.
Atla Shivana admit చేయరా అట్లా శివన్న admit చేయండి.
Akila, we can guest వచ్చాక వెళ్ళిపోవచ్చు. Guest వచ్చాక we start.
Good evening, Brigadier Garu. Good evening, Mani Garu.
శ్రీనివాస్ గారు వచ్చారా? మీరు వీడియో ఆన్ చేసుకుంటే మరి మిమ్మల్ని గుర్తుపడతాం చాలా చూసి. ఓకే, నమస్కారం శ్రీనివాస్ గారు. గుడ్ టు సీ యూ. వెరీ గుడ్ టు సీ యూ. ఓకే, అండ్ థ్యాంక్స్ ఫర్
Sapna ma'am also joined. Good evening, ma'am.
కల్పన గారు వచ్చారా?
She is joined.
Okay.
Good evening, Srinivas.
Yeah.
I've got a very bad throat, so you will have to do the needful.
మీ గొంతు ఎంత బాగుందో.
Oh no, I'm having lozenges and all. Chala horrible గా ఉంది.
Oh, okay. Actually, look for the guest. చంద్రశేఖర్ గారు ఆయన రాగానే మనం స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం. We'll wait for a minute, otherwise start చేద్దాం. You may come join us late also. 7:04, 7:05 start చేద్దాం. Sir?
Hello, sir. It's Devan. How are you, sir?
ఎవరు చంద్రశేఖర్ గారా?
Debian sir.
Debian, hi, welcome.
Yeah.
Debian is from IIT Indore and very energetic Indian. Thanks for joining, Debian.
Yes, sir. But energetic less than you, sir. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you, sir.
హైదరాబాద్ లో వర్షాలు పడి అందరు కోపాలు తాపాలు తగ్గిపోయాయండి.
ప్రసాద్ గారు నమస్కారం.
నమస్కారం అండి. శ్రీనివాస్ గారు ఎలాగున్నారు?
బాగానే ఉన్నాను సార్.
ఢిల్లీలో ఉన్నారా?
ఢిల్లీలో.
శభాష్. మోనయ్య గారు నమస్కారం అండి.
నమస్కారం దుర్గాప్రసాద్ గారు.
అఖిల, మన గెస్ట్లందరికీ ఆన్ చేయాలి, వీళ్ళకి పర్మిషన్ ఇవ్వాలి మాట్లాడడానికి. అన్మ్యూట్ చేయకూడదు. అంతేనా? ఇలా ఎవరన్నా హ్యాకర్స్ వస్తే వాళ్ళని కంట్రోల్ చేయగలగాలి. If everything is open, people may just come in and spoil the show. It happened a couple of times to me. Adi keep in mind and then keep open the mute unmute controls.
Okay.
Yeah, we can start. We'll wait for Chandrasekhar Garu. Whenever he comes, we'll join. Akhila, keep a watch. Whenever he joins, he doesn't travel, he said. Whenever he joins, you make him in, and that time we'll stop and welcome him. Let's go.
Good evening, everybody. Andarki namaskaram. Welcome to the 75th webinar. This will be celebrating this on behalf of, let's say, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav అవుతుంది. దీని సందర్భంగా కూడా 76th webinar చేస్తున్నాము. It's a very big success. We want to talk more about it. We go for this. We have our guests. So with the guests in their presence, we want to discuss on how we can leverage Grassroots innovations by formal system, how formal system can leverage Grassroots innovations. Dr. Stephen Chandrasekhar Garu is a chief guest. Today, we have Srinivas Garu, we have Mona Garu, and Kalpana Garu also will be speaking today. So before we wait ahead, let's start off. I invite Brigadier to do the opening remarks and talk more about Palli Suchana. For those of us who know it, it's always nice to hear. For those who do not know what Palli Suchana is, Brigadier will share more about it.
Okay. Can I share now, Akhila?
Yes.
Yeah, wait a second. సో మరోసారి పల్లె సృజన సంస్థ నుండి అందరి తరఫున వాలంటీర్స్ తరఫున మా సపోర్ట్ తరఫున అందరికీ నమస్కారం, స్వాగతం. మీరంతా మన్నించి టైం తీసుకుని వచ్చినందుకు కృతజ్ఞతలు. ఇది జరగడానికి కారకులైన వాలంటీర్స్ అందరికీ అభినందనలు. ఒక విశేషం, మన చంద్రశేఖర్ గారు వస్తారనుకుంటాను త్వరగా. ఈజ్ సెక్రటరీ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ సైన్స్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ, గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా. We hope he joins soon. Then we have got a guest from Srinivas from ICAR. We know him for the last 7-8 years or 10 years, and we're very happy that he is here with us. And I'm sure you will share the perspective ICAR, which would benefit grassroots innovations. And Mohan Garu, we have specially invited him short notice. We are very grateful to you for accepting this. We know you are our man always, and we took the liberty to do it. Thanks for accepting it, Mohan Garu. Thank you very much. So, ఒక చిన్న పండుగ చేసుకోవాలనిపించింది. ఫర్ లాస్ట్ 75 వారాలుగా వాలంటీర్స్ అందరూ కండక్ట్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నారు. అంటే ప్రజల జ్ఞానాన్ని కనెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు. And that connectivity has given us an experience, enthusiasm, and energy. It is something very interesting to see that knowledge sharing is an interesting activity which we found, and we drew a lot of energy from that, because we saw that every discussion, every week, there was more issues coming up, which are adding to the value of the knowledge displayed there. So that kind of a knowledge sharing activity with absolutely unconditional, even conditions level, అలాంటి యాక్టివిటీ చేయడంలో అట్లీస్ట్ పల్లెసిన వాలంటీర్స్ మేము బాగా ఆనందించామండి. ఐ థింక్ సంథింగ్ ఎక్స్ట్రాటికల్లీ వి ఎంజాయ్డ్ డూయింగ్ ఇట్. దట్స్ వై 70 చేసినా కూడా అలసిపోవడం అనే మాటే లేదు. ఇంకా చేద్దాం అంత ఉత్సాహంగా ఉన్నారు. అయితే దిస్ ఇస్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద యాక్టివిటీస్ ఆఫ్ పల్లె సృజన. పల్లె సృజన మీకు తెలుసు ఏమిటో. ఇది బేసికలీ village creativity. Palle, those who understand, Palle is village and Srijana is creativity. It's a volunteer group started in November 2005, and basically to nurture, create grassroots creativity and also traditional knowledge in Telugu states. Now, we started in unified Andhra Pradesh, now of course 2 Telugu states. And we found that this grassroots creativity produces affordable and appropriate solutions for the people. Thereby, there are lots of advantages they get in terms of input reduction and easy to handle customization. So many things happen because of that. And more you'll come to know when you see the innovations today. And we are part of Honeybee Network. We are part of Honeybee Network, which is, Professor Anil Gupta has headed it. And we provide voice to the innovations, visibility to the innovation, and velocity to go forward in dissemination geographically to many farmers. Voice, visibility, and velocity are the major activity we do. And this is the jargon, but a lot of activity under this we do it. Then we are in a Honeybee Network. We work like honeybees, not for honeybees. So a faceless, nameless person like Mallesham joins network, and he becomes popular by his knowledge, by his contribution to society. So we had the privilege of bringing him from obscurity to the familiarity. So, and Madam Almitra Patel, thank you very much for joining, and we are grateful to you. Right. So Honeybee Network does basically reciprocal, responsible, and mutually respectful exchange. It is done with a level field. Innovators are, if not their same level, if not higher level, but we are responsible for their knowledge taking, and the benefits should go to them. And at any point of time, we should not go against the intentions of the innovator. we have been, this organization is voluntary, as I mentioned. You know, our approach is to believe in the goodness of the common people, and the creativity of common people is something amazing. We found it as we carried our journey in the last 16 years. And our workforce is purely volunteers. They come, they do whenever they want, whatever they want, but they do wonderful things. And we bank upon the goodness of the people, and accountability is totally for the grassroots innovators. We're always on their side. And we see if an equity can be given, sustainability automatically comes in, but equity in terms of total inclusivity of grassroots, total inclusivity masses. Today, we talk inclusivity, but I'm not sure it's really being implemented. And some ways and I is a philosophy on which we work. So we have no failures, only success, because we don't have tasks, we don't have resources, we don't have organization, so we have only success, everything. Today, we all came. We are very grateful to you for this, and we feel it is a great success for us. So what we do in Palestine is these activities starting from scouting. Where are they? And what have they done? So since we have no legs, we go to the villages. Knowledge has no legs. We go to the villages, seek the knowledge, seek the person who has done some solution. He might have done for himself, but he doesn't know that it is useful to many others, millions across the geography in the country. So scouting is a challenge, but I think we have learned over a period of time. And documentation is very important because, my dear friends, a formal system documentation is done concurrently with the project. But whereas here documentation is done post-innovation. Now that's a challenge to go back and do it. And as you all know, all the questions we ask in a formal system, they have no answers. So that's the biggest problem we're facing, but we managed to do it with the help of National Innovation Foundation and the innovativeness of the volunteers. And we do a lot of dissemination, patenting, and recognition awards. All this we do it. You know, most of them, they do it. Just to what Palestine did for Telugu people to voluntarily is about a few figures I've given to tell you the enormity of the work done by volunteers, total volunteerism from all ages volunteers, and 500 innovations and about 1,000 plus traditional knowledge, 32 patents. Even patenting is done mostly by volunteers. They only charge the fee, not their fee. And innovation displays is part of a dissemination we have done it. And over 90 ready for sale are being marketed last 7 years. And about 30 odd production facilities available in the villages with the innovators. For them, Palestine has helped some way or other, so they continue producing innovations. All these facilities give about some employment in the villages. But what happened is these innovators are seen as, these mechanics are seen as innovators now in the villages. And they are honored by regional collectors, local people. And there's no religion, there's nothing. They all will call innovators. Earlier, they were mechanics. That's a kind of it. We also publish their photos on the Palestine magazine, which will let you know what we do about it. So there's a good turnover. All the figures are given. And one of the important thing is 1,500 ASU machines have been Pochampalli weavers, which is an innovation of Malaysian Padma Shri awardee. Palestine could facilitate this supply. And the best thing is horizontal dissemination is from village to village, farmer to farmer. That is gathering momentum. And Palestine magazine is making them talk. We give phone numbers, they talk. There's lots from what I have seen 2007, 8 and now. There is a tremendous amount of horizontal dissemination, horizontal conversation between the people. And that makes a lot of sense because there's no extra work from top down or bottom up. That's the benefits I'm sure they're getting. And we connect with students in the college and schools. Yeah, we publish Palestine magazine, the name of our organization, Palestine. And in that every story we scout and we document, which is useful to people, which needs dissemination, will be published there with the pictures on the cover page. We put the innovators' pictures, and we've also started rural internship where we all the formal system colleges, anybody with the TIS students come to us. We'll interact. We'll tell them to guide them to the villages, talk to the innovators, talk to the people who have benefited, talk to the people who have problems, and thereby they understand how to read and understand and comprehend the problems in the villages and how they're solving themselves or not solving themselves. That was a good exposure. The feedback has been super good, and we did more than 1,200 people. Innovation displays we do for dissemination of the what we scouted, around 300 we have done. And Palestine magazines we printed almost 2 lakhs plus. So far, all are there in the villages. Nobody throws out because there's no outdated, nothing gets outdated in that. Knowledge remains knowledge. And webinars 74, we talked about it. Yeah. Start moving forward. Okay. There's a problem in moving my slides moving forward. I'll stop sharing and put up again. Yeah. Ecological problem. Now is it okay, sir? Start moving. Screen sharing not taken. Stop sharing. And share again. No, it's not going. So, what's that? There's a problem. Wait for a minute. I'll just overcome this.
So just click on the slide and then change the slide. Sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I hope it works now. Yeah. Okay. So we also do Sinasoda Yatras, which is basically we took from the Soda Yatra organized by Professor Anil Gupta at Srishti. So we did 41 Yatras, and this amazing journey where we scout and disseminate both, and disseminate what we've learned. And in this we do in Telugu states, both. So for 41 Yatras and so many figures we have seen. Then we have few initiatives like the Ram Swayam Samruddhi. We wanted this project to be, few villages are given to us, we are working on this. And rural connect to college students, I mentioned about internships, and they can do that. And the Herbal Healer certification, TDU Bangalore has been authorized by Government of India to do this. We are tying up with them, and we wanted to give 100 herbal healers in Telangana and Andhra this year, 2022 or 2023. So that they all have certification to show what they have learned, and that's an initiative on. Gyan Shudh assessment of villages, we have done 8 villages so far, but whoever comes to us will be able to do it. Innovation Diffusion Center is there in Hyderabad, where we are speaking from, where we can showcase our lot of innovations and magazines and problem discussion take place. And after 15 years, we thought that why only search for solutions? Let's seek problems from them, from the people. We invite problems, and then we throw these problems to our innovators. A huge team of innovators are 400 people, and some of them will want to take up that. And that's the way we are moving on to get the problems solved. And more than over 20 problems we have solved, which have been given back to the people. Dissemination is very important because knowledge keeping at village doesn't make any sense after scouting and documenting. So we try to display whoever asks us to come, we take innovators and go there. NABARD and various colleges, institutions, ICA or TSIC, government, so many people have asked us, NIF, wherever they ask us, we take them. And besides that, digital and print media, all the Facebook, Twitter, we use it. And the children also use that. Then the recognition to the Telugu people because of the efforts of volunteers last 16 years has been tremendous, and it fills our heart when you see it. All this, what you see, and many more which I have not written, have come because of the significance of grassroots innovations and their impact on society and the effort of volunteers. I'm very proud to be part of this activity. So all this has given some impact on society, like low-cost solutions provide them much advantage in terms of affordability, appropriateness, and the principle of MLM, more from less for many. And of course, they reduce input cost and local employment also comes up. All this, we have seen the effect of this. Even the cost of development reduces because you only supplement what they have, not replace their knowledge. The developmental activity in the village will strengthen the strengths. So we have to identify what they have, add on to it. Then development cost reduces and stays. And I'm sure when many people make it decentralized manner, wealth will get distributed, does not get centralized as it happens now. Inclusiveness in real sense comes only when knowledge-based society is formed. And I think knowledge-based society is the best way to build equity. Money-based world, we have failed to make equal, and we only increase the gap. How do we do this? We have Palestina, we felt that it's possible to do because it has innovation, it has a pain removal, it has entrepreneurship, it is engineering, it is distribution, everything is there in it. But it is a knowledge-based, it's a problem-based solution. And Pochampalli tradition has revived. I'm very happy to convey to, I'm sure you all know, because of Mallesham's ASU machine. If he has not made it for the sake of reducing the mother's pain, there was immigration. People went out of Pochampalli tradition because no girl was doing ASU. So such kind of amazing results will come up, though innovation is not meant for achieving that. So present model is wealth concentration. We'll switch over to wealth distribution. It's possible, my dear friends, only when we promote grassroots innovators as entrepreneurs. In their language, in their voice, we must go to them. They don't come to our system and do it. Our entrepreneurship is totally a Western model, which only educated people can do it. But how can grassroots innovators, millions of them, how can we make them entrepreneurs in the language they understand, the place where they are? And then only the new model will come up. So, lastly, something is being done. Something is happening. But it's very minuscule what's happening today for the formal system for the grassroots innovators. We feel at Palestina that more has to be done to leverage this potential grassroots innovation, which are significant for the development of growth and sustainability of environment, both. And therefore, we have a request from behalf of everybody in Palestina and the villages that all the important departments were involved. Some of them I mentioned, but there's so many. They must act sooner and ensure that the inclusive growth takes place. And that's all I have. Thanks so much. And now over to Akhila.
Thank you very much, Brigadier. I think all of us, the family of Pilgrim and well-wishers, all of us agree that there has to be inclusive growth for innovators, and that's what we've been striving for. And in that as soon as possible. Okay, so I now very excitingly invite Subhash to share basically the man behind the webinar, to share the journey of the webinar and also impressions of farmers, innovators, and participants on it. Subhash, over to you.
Subhash, wait a second. We will start talking with me.
ఇప్పుడు రిటర్న్ వచ్చింది పోస్ట్ హ్యాండ్ నేను తీసుకోవాలి తీసుకుంటాడు కదా అంగడు దమ్మ అవుతారు ఇక
Akhila, Subhash mic has to be put on. Yeah, Subhash, can you talk now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Akhila, please confirm, can you see the slides? Not yet.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Subhash, you may start, please.
Yes, sir. Good evening, delegates. Myself, Subhash Chandra. I am a class student.
Sir, I think his voice is something disturbing.
Got muted.
Muted. But
so I am working with Palestina from last 8 years. My journey started in 2013 with Brigadier Palestina. Currently, I am working Currently, I'm working
ఈయనే
in
ఉంటుంది
Creative Minds as a CEO,
10 రోజుల దాకా ఈయనే ఉంటుంది
looking grassroots innovations promotion. It's clear గా ఉందా అన్న?
అది సంతు వాళ్ళ అల్లుడు కావచ్చు.
Hello.
Subhash garu, right. Good.
Okay. So I'll tell you why we start weekly webinars. So before 2020 Palestina Creative Minds, we participated many exhibitions and events. Monthly, we are participating at least 3 to 4 exhibitions in various platforms like ICR, NABARD, agriculture universities, farmers meetings, state and national level exhibitions. So these all are public platforms. So we'll showcase their grassroots innovations knowledge. These grassroots innovations we are showcased in demonstration of among the people. But unfortunately, world is shut down with the COVID. So in 2020, nearly 6 months, no exhibitions from March to September. In September month, we inspired with the online classes. Every school students and every college are started online classes like with Zoom or Google Meet apps. So on the time in October month first week, we participated one online webinar that is conducted by TSIC and NABARD. So then next week, me and the brigadiers are discussed with weekly webinars. So that's why we started online platform. So next second week, we decided online platform on Google Meet. We started weekly webinars. Palestinian Creative Minds, one month schedule. We choose online platform Google Meet. First 6 webinars conducted morning from morning 10:30 to 11:30. Then after 6 weeks, we change the time from morning to evening. Okay, sir. Okay. So every webinar we are inviting 2 guest speakers. One is Palestina or Palestina volunteer or Palestina Shodhaya team or guest or innovator. Then second one more guest speakers we are inviting from formal systems like public institutions, private institutions, NGOs or academicians. So in 1 hour webinar, we are allotted 15 minutes time to both the speakers. They will share experience, and then innovators will share the next half an hour. They will share their experience regarding how to use the innovations. As an admin, I will showcase PowerPoint presentation. At the same time, I'll showcase Telugu description, presentation, photos. According to innovation and innovator, we will allot the time to innovators. Allotted time, they will present. After that, we will take the question and answers. Last 15 minutes, this is the discussion session. So everybody, they will speak on weekly webinars, probably in last 74 webinars. Right now, we are completed 74 weekly webinars. Still, we are continuing. In 74 webinars, 163 innovators are participated and more than 270 innovations showcased by online platform, and 94 guest speakers also participated in this weekly webinars. Nearly 40,000 people are participated. We covered in last 74 webinars all type of innovations like farming, non-farming, herbal, seeds, plants, etc. Even problem solving innovations also we discussed in last webinars. So I'm completely satisfied with this webinar because this is a great opportunity to me. From last 2 years, we are disseminating this grassroots technology to the society. From many farmers, NGOs, or college FPO members are and the webinars. Thanks to all my Palestina volunteers, innovators, Shodhayatris, special guest speakers, especially farmers and audience. And special thanks to Brigadier Ganeshan sir, giving me a great and wonderful opportunity. This is my journey with weekly webinars. Thank you. So I will share next impact of weekly webinars. So now he's a Samba Shivara garu. He is located in Guntur Bapatla. He is a running one FPO. Regularly, he is participating every week. He has attended more than nearly 20 to 25 webinars. He is raising a questions also, and he is promoting this grassroots technology by local farmers groups. And next, sir. Next slide, sir. So he is Chitti Babu Garu. He is a natural farmer located in Chittoor district, Srikalahasti. He is giving and raising a problems for low level tools and equipments for natural farming. He is asking and also he is sending messages to me and Palestinian innovators. Sir, I want this type of tool. Can you make in low cost? So ante చిన్న పరికరాలు నేషనల్ ఫార్మింగ్ లో ఉంటే బెటర్ అని చెప్పేసి ఇతని వ్యూస్ అన్ని కూడా షేర్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాడు. సో ఆల్మోస్ట్ హీఈస్ అటెండెడ్ మోర్ దెన్ 30 to 35 వీక్లీ వెబినార్స్. అండ్ Shivashankar Shinde, he is the founder of New Life Foundation. New Life Foundation, he has a group, one natural farming CVR and Chauhan group. Both the Telugu states, nearly 1200 to 1500 farmers is there. So nearly 160 to 150 Palestinian subscribers also in this group. So at least nearly from Shivashankar sir Shinde groups, come se come 10 or 15 people are attending every week. So Shivashinde garu, he has attended nearly more than 40 to 50 webinars. So he is also giving instructions and raising questions and problem solving answers to the Palestinian webinars. And Sheshagir Rao garu, he is located in Visakhapatnam. He is a grassroots innovator. He made one innovation. Last year, I invited to Sheshagir Rao as a grassroots innovator. He is expressed his innovation. His feeling is very proud because I am the guest speaker and I am the one of the innovator in this group. So he made one innovation. He is expressed his gratitude to Palestine and weekly webinars. Professor Anjaneyulu garu, he is the really great person because NIT Warangal now sorry in HOD EC department NIT Warangal. Almost he is the first person, I think. More than 60 webinars are attended, Mr. Anjaneyulu sir. He is giving a good instructions after the webinar. Every webinar he is giving a good suggestions and instructions to the Palestinian innovators. He is a mentoring and guiding to the grassroots innovators and farmers and giving the good suggestions. And one more natural farmer, he is located in Narayanpet district, Anna Anjaneyulu garu. He is running 2-3 groups. He is sharing the weekly webinar posters. Anna ikkada ee roju Palestina webinar undi 7 o'clock meer attend ganan. He is motivating to the society. And one more farmer, Ravi Gaud, is located in Nalgonda district. He is taking, after the webinar he is decided, so I need organic pesticides. and also he is motivating to some other farmers and relatives. Ashok Reddy garu, he is located in Guntur district. 2 years ago, he came to Palasrujna and he brought more than 10 people. He's participated one farmers group meeting. We are conducting offline meetings in Palasrujna office every Saturday. So overnight journey from Guntur to Hyderabad, he came along with his team. Almost 60-70% farmers also came to overnight journey to Palasrujna, and almost he sold. He is purchased from Palestina Innovations nearly 40 to 50,000 rupees. So these are the impressions and expressions of various department like farmers, innovators, academicians, and SPOs. Thank you so much, sir. This wonderful time.
Yeah. Thank you, Subhash. Subhash has the way he said it. He is a one single-handedly handled all the webinars in Telugu. That's why we thought he is the right person to tell you how he did it, what he did it. He did what he could do. Now, my dear friends, we have a video of innovations. This is a void in villages. There is no lifting facility. He has made a lifting facility with 800 kgs lift and 15 feet using the crane. 6.5 lakh villages, if they have cranes, the productivity of the nation silently goes up, besides safety. Pedal operating is very difficult for the hand weavers because the 25 to 45 kg they have to lift it. But Moda has made a one machine which can be used for all types of looms in the country. Jagard, non-jagard, Dabi, all countries. And it operates electromechanically, but the weaver has to just touch. You see the video, you just have touch instead of lifting 25 to 45 kg. It's a game changer. Available everybody, very reasonable cost, 20-25,000. This for Jagard, for non-Jagard for him, which you can operate with hand on the loom. And he can do, he has the skill, but he has no legs. And hand loom needs legs also as an existing system. So that's a kind of a game changer. Hand people, elders, youngsters, everybody can do it with the electromechanical lifting device, which is meant for all types of looms. The benefits are immense if you think about it. Spraying in paddy is done for 3 to 4 feet by hand, keeping a load on the back. And now Maulali innovator has made a simple modification where the sprayer doesn't carry the weight and can go up to 300 feet. Imagine the advantage of the farmer. It's a game changer in my understanding. And the bank, the machine and the water, the spraying liquid is kept there. The farmer is out of the problem. And it's a big productivity advantage. Look at how far this boy has gone. Problem posed to us by Getu Trust in the Parvatipuram, and they wanted coconuts after the water is drank. They want to make it a pulp so that it can be used for mulching. So this was made by innovator Prabhakar in Metpalli and supplied to Parvatipuram. And this mulching can be used by Adivasis, everybody. They want to give free to the people. Got a national award. He is sold more than 3,000 pieces. Very smooth and effortless operation. And across the country, I almost sell. When the crop grows up, tractors cannot operate across. So, Odisha in Inkolu, Grassroots district, they raise the tractor by 4 feet, vertically raised it, and thereby they can spray right up to the plants. This is about 6.5 horsepower tractor. Can be useful to up to 5 to 10 acres. Small and marginal completely. And They do not need 25 and 75 horsepower tractors. Every cultivation can be done. Activity can be done by this tractor. It has a trailer. I'll show you that. Trailer carries about 1,800 to 900 kg and for small and marginal without affecting the environment. They have been given drip pipes for farmers at 9% subsidy, but there's no winder given, so therefore they pull it out and in the process the damage lot of drip pipes. The reuse will be difficult. Ramesh has made using these kitchen utensils. He made a winder so that safely it can be wound and reused for the next crop. Effort, the plantation has been done, beautifully done. Even the plastic doesn't go into the soil, it stays there at the edge. Of raising the tractor for using it when the crops grow taller, and with the least crop loss, because tractors have tires and other things, but look at this, it's like a thin wheels comfortably go in the distance between the rows. The weed in this crop, the weed is as good as the paddy crop, and the manual weeding is very, very laborious and less productive and costly too. And using the herbicide, you see there's no weed at all. Well tried out, and Prasad Garu is part of this. He's helping the innovator to spread this his product across the country through Gram Bazaar. See the two fields, one with herbicide used, other one without it. A big problem for reducing the moisture in the harvested paddy. 6-7 days they have to dry it out, and churning crores of quintals is an issue annually, and it's portable, more polite. There's no cotton seeder attached to tractor. So manually, people seed the cotton seeds. There's been attachment, and trials were good. 95% germination was there, average 95% germination was there. This is a very simple feeder and made with no cost, recycled material, and the lady without vending she gets a 1 acre per day and can be made anywhere. Very simple one. The arch can be used as a distance between the two seeds. Kitchens are going vanishing now. So roti making is a problem. But with the health consciousness, people want to eat cake roti. And that is not easy to make. So AJ Rao thought of making a roti maker so that people can benefit from the eating healthy rotis. Very affordable cost. Make all rotis, puris, everything can be made. Many machines have been made, innovations have been made in the food industry. Our eating out has increased, and to meet the increasing demand, the manual making of food items is not sufficient. So lots of innovations have come up. Every item of food we eat, snack we eat, sweet we eat, amazingly. We are very fortunate to meet all those energetic innovators for supporting the food industry and meeting our demand. When you make chicky, you should not have bark. The top layer, that is where the fungus comes. So there is a requirement to take out that on the ground and take out the bark and to only use without bark. But that if somebody made a machine, and chicky industry survived because of this machine. Another void now, after the bullock carts are vanishing, there is no transport available for villagers. They cannot use tractor trolley for everybody. So this boy made a four-wheeler trolley which can carry 1,000 kgs, but driven by two-wheeler tractor anywhere. So the big void can be taken care of. So why leaders only pushing? So it's why not just sit if they have to do 4-5 acres a day? Shanmugharao made a mono-wheel leader where turning is not a problem. The means of lifting it and one can sit and Madam Almitra will be happy to see this. She has helped this boy a lot. Tirupati Rao made electric pole climber. Recently got orders from Tamil Nadu government, and more orders are likely from UP government and Odisha government. recent Shodayatra. Sorry. Yeah, what's happening? We feel it's a mix of tradition and modernism. Because of the bullocks and wheels, thin wheels, bullocks, not wheels, the crop loss will not be much even if the plants are grown to certain height. This machine provides a different kind of lift which is not existing in the tractor attachments. It can move up and down one side. With that, where the ground which is not level, especially near the bunds, can also be properly plowed and brought into the field. Otherwise, with this bar not moving up and down, the place near the bund was not completely plowed. Got by Satyanarayana and he only lifts one side, right? You see, using the tractor power, hydraulic system. And that's way. Now, generally, we have weeders for each crops, crop based, because separate distant row separation is an issue. But Venkatesh made one weeder for all crops, so that the farmer do not have a problem of crop rotation. Now, he made it for 5 horsepower and a 12-inch width. So, because the higher horsepower, you can have in the rear, attachment can be for 2 feet, 3 feet, still it works because the power is there. So, one weeder for all crops. You see that kind of same engine use double discharge, so that the short times of farmer gets enough water. And using the old engines, old water, recondition them and use them, so the cost is not high for the farmer. Thank you very much for seeing the visit. These innovations are only a sample of what we displayed in the 74 webinars, almost 264 of them. And we wish we could show everything. More about this, Venkat will speak next. Why I have, I think so many eminent personalities have come. I can't, really see them, but my heartiest welcome to all of them, and also thank you very much for being present here to listen to us. And as I see witnesses, perhaps I'll be able to invite them personally. Now, Subhash and innovators together, with the scouts we have, volunteers we have to identify the innovations, walk around, go around with our scouts and volunteers. For every week, we have to get 2 or 3 innovators. There's a challenge we had as a Palya Sujana. And last 74 weeks, we managed to do it. Unless we have new innovators, we cannot have next webinar. And believe me, society never failed us. If we have anybody's failed, only we and volunteers failed, but not identifying them, they are there everywhere, every house, every village we have. So such an enormity of innovations, enormity of meeting needs of the people is the impact of all this will be explained by Venkat. Akhila, over to you.
Yes, like you said, after watching the video, we can't wait to invite Venkana, because he's going to tell us what webinars, what kind of impact webinars have created amongst different stakeholders, different set of people. For those who came as participants, those who came as speakers, they had different impact altogether. They had different experiences. They had very different takeaways to take back home. So we'll hear from Venkat himself.
Thanks, Akila, and thanks, Brigadim sir. And It's a big responsibility. I'll give an attempt to share because if you see the efforts kept in the last 74 weeks and the number of innovators participated in this 74 webinars, and the same time the reach which is happened in the market, and to measure that impact in 10 minutes is a really humongous task, but I'll give an attempt to give the nuggets of this entire efforts. So first, I want to talk about the length and breadth of these innovations, what we are able to display in this 74 webinars. This is the 75th one. We are there now. So you can see in the slide, there is no limitations for these innovations. It's from all the segments, and you can see weeders. There are 14 different kind of weeders, because in the farming sector, one of the biggest challenge for the farmer is the weeds. So to help them to overcome that challenge, our innovators, because they are there in the problem, they are trying to identify the solution, and they are not stopping at one solution. So they are trying to always try to improvise. We see the leaders who have started with one innovation and then they're improvising it consistently, and they always want to give the best to their fellow farmers. So that's how it's a scene. You can see weeders and 16 sprayers was discussed in these webinars. Different kind of sprayers with the depends on the crop and depends on the need of the farmers. It is discussed, and then the food processors and 6 harvesters also discussed, and 18 hand tools which can be used in the farming. So these are all more of related farming sector, farm sector, like coconut and multi-tree climbers, and 5 mini tractors where we just saw one in the video, and then mini rice mills, because now everything whatever the farmer produced, to eat it back again it need to process, and then only we can eat. But the problem is the mills are there in a faraway place, and every farmer not having access to go and process that one and eat for themselves what they produce. But this many rice mills, really it's like a multi crop. It's not only the rice, but other millets also can be processed. There are very good innovations it was displayed in these webinars, and then different kind of seeds and plants which are innovated by the it's not produced by the farmers, and there is animal medicines, and it's what I want to share from this slide is it's not that we are focusing on one area to find out the innovation, because it's wherever they are finding the problem, they are trying to find the innovation solution for them. And the same thing about the second slide. What I am discussing is it is about the non-farm innovations. Again, here also you can see different innovations like human safety also they keep in mind, and innovators, these grassroots innovators. You can see about the drinking water supply also they find the problem, and they try to find out the solution there, and vegetable vending and ornaments making. So it's not confined to any segment of farming or one type of area. So awesome thing about these innovators, grassroots innovators, is they just look into the problem and they try to find out the solution for that problem. And this is just a glimpse of summary of the what are the innovations I discussed. And then close to, as Shubhash mentioned, around 270 plus innovations are displayed in this 74 webinars, both farm and non-farm. And if you want to segregate this one, around close to 50 plus percentages in the farming related, which can be used for the farmers, because these are all from the grassroots, from the villages where the major occupation is farming. So obviously the major innovations and the problems they're facing is in that sector. So we see the more innovations in that from area. And again, we can see in other areas like biostimulants and herbicides and seeds and plants and farm produce processing and rural transportation, animal and human wealth, and other segments also. These are all out of 274. This is the spread of that one. And as I told you, the impact of that one. These are the efforts and these are the information disseminated in this 74 webinars. If you try to understand the impact on the society, what is they cover the almost all livelihood activities which are there in the rural areas. So that's the beauty of this webinars, because whichever the occupation they are in, whichever the work they are doing, once they come there, they are getting value added in this webinars. That's a good feedback we understand from this webinars. And there is no priority sector for them. If they see the pain, and as I just now discussing, they try to address that one, and silently and it's even the solution also, it's a customized for the people where they are facing the problem. That's the beauty of this one. And it's a communities and individuals, industry also derive benefits without investing in R&D, because this innovation found by one person in the village, so that is getting cost to the many individuals. At the same time, there are people. In fact, last I got opportunity to participate in the last Palasrujana. There is a person, they see this what you call cotton seeder, and there is a person, he is producing it and selling it to the nearby villages. So he is able to get the livelihood from that one. So these are the silently, these without any much investment and all these things, the people are in the ground level are they're getting benefited through this one. So this is the awesomeness about these webinars. And in fact, they from these people who are where we are connecting, they are coming and attending these webinars again. And other industry, cottage industry is growing with these innovations. And food industry, definitely, as we seen the many advantages in the innovations in the food industry. So we see the chicky processing machine. So where when you want to prepare the chicky, the ground and outer layer should not be there. But it's very difficult to remove the chicky just like that outer layer easily. But because of this small innovation, it helped that industry to do. Because if you have that outer layer, it easily get the fungus. So to avoid that one, this is a small innovation really able to solve the big problem of the in the food processing industry. And there are many innovations which supporting the fuel saving and waste recycling. And I think there is an innovation which talks about they find out to remove the copper from the this waste wise was cables which are lying and unused. So these are the awesome thing we can see in these innovations, and many people are inspired and they're trying to use this as a livelihood for them. It is able to reach them themselves. And good thing about these innovations is they can develop at local level. They are again they can produce and very low costly it is available. That's the beauty of this one. And through this one, many people are getting self employment. And in fact, when we are seeing these webinars, there are a lot of inputs also coming from the farmers. What is the betterment they want it, and how they can utilize it in their places to make that more customized also. That's another thing which is we are seeing in this webinar. And these the people who are already doing the innovations, they really want to go step ahead and understand the problems, and they want to provide the solutions. So good thing when we see in these webinars is that the innovators, they only not only talks about their innovation, but they want to listen the problems of the grassroots people who are there in the ground level. That is the beauty of them, and they are always curious to understand their problems and try to provide solutions. So least investment and silent enhancement of productivity, hence growth of the people, which is happening in the villages. That's the best thing we can see in the through impact of this webinars. And there are a few behavioral shifts we also observe in the farmers. So when they're having a problem, they don't want to if it is possible, yes, it is removing the problem is very good. At least if it is not possible, they are trying to see reduce the pain. That is another way they are looking into their problem. And definitely farmers are becoming innovators to solve the farmers themselves problems and their colleagues problems also. That is a beauty we understand when we connecting with the more and more people and innovators through these webinars. And feeling comfortable to buy innovations and discuss their requirements. That's what I'm just sharing. So during these webinars, they're open to try these innovations and encourage these innovators. They also getting the boosting. At the same time, they also understand they are sharing their problems, how they want to, what kind of solutions they want. And another important thing is inspiring from the innovators and reacting and customizing their needs. So they are taking one, because there are some innovators, they taken the innovation from others and they're trying to improvise that one. That's another good thing is happening. They are trying to become a solution for the problem what they are facing. And they are appreciating the innovations, and they are trying to partner with the innovators also to support them. That is another beauty thing we are seeing in this entire webinars interactions with the people. So ultimately, our goal is to support the outcome of inclusive and sustainable growth. That's what the Brigadians are also emphasized in the thing, and that's what we are seeing in this through this webinars, and we want to continue this to happen further and more intensely. And demonstration, dissemination of the groundbreaking grassroots technologies also, that is another major thing we are seeing. This is happening, and at the same time the disseminations are also helping us to reach more and more people through these webinars, and farmers and farm laborers becoming more efficient with the tools and the innovations what we are discussing. This was another impact we able to observe. And so we are seeing this one. We want to get more impact through in these three areas. So we'll continue to these efforts through the Palasrajana, and with the help of Subhash and Ganesham sir and all the volunteers of Palasrajana. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vandana. One thing that I want to say is that when I saw you presenting, I could see the joy, because I also feel when we share about innovation stories and we thoroughly understand or we thoroughly feel, I don't think we enjoy so much sharing about our own ideas, but when it is about Grassroots innovation, maybe because we've been volunteering so long and we so much believe in the idea, it comes so well. I really liked how you enjoyed presenting all the while, and yeah, a lot of things that you said are so true. I hope this webinars continue to happen. Everybody is hoping for the same. Okay, now it's time I've been waiting for that. Now we presented Palasrajana and the innovators and the impact of webinars. Now the time for us to hear from our guests, but how them being in the system, formal system, how can they think about Grassroots innovation, leverage these innovations for the benefit of the society? So I would like to just give me a moment.
మనకి అంత సొల్లు ఉండదు, పాయింట్ రావాలి, చెప్పాలి, వెళ్ళిపోవాలి అంతే. వీడియోలు ఉండాలి మనకి, మనుషులు వచ్చి
Madam Almitra, I request you to stay back to speak something once we have a
solution ఏం చేయాలి, ట్రై చేయాలి, వచ్చిందా వచ్చింది, లేకుంటే లేదు.
Not now, whenever the turn comes after Munay Garu, we can request Almitra Garu to speak, right? Thank you for advance for accepting Almitra ji. Yeah, Akhil, go ahead.
Are you able to see my screen? Okay, perfect. Okay, so very excited to listen from our guests. So firstly, I'd like Srinivas Garu is the member of Expert Advisory Committee of Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. He has more than 30 years of experience in management, research, development and extension related issues, coordinates ITMUs and ZTMUs of 100 ICR institutes and 50 agri-business incubators within ICR. He's a board member of Agri Innovate Limited, a commercial arm of DARE ICAR. He was a principal scientist RSM at ICAR NAM and a CEO of NAM TBI IDEA. IDEA, under his leadership, supported more than 72 startups in incubation and accelerators. He steered ICAR NAM's incubator, IDEA, to achieve Best Emerging Incubator Award from Government of India in 2018. So glad to have you here, sir. We're waiting to hear from you about your take on what Grassroots innovations are.
Thank you, Akhila. Brigadier Ganesham Garu, my mentor and coach, Dr. Kalpana, Mohaniya Garu, and all other guests here, and all the people here. Really, I'm excited to come back to talk to Dr. Brigadier Ganesham. I know we had taken a different path in the whole journey of understanding entrepreneurship. I used to do a lot of debate on it whenever I and Dr. Ganesham used to do it. Both paths have a different way of doing it, but yes, one thing was common. It is common that we need to develop the sustainable livelihood of the farmers. That is the goal. Paths may be a bit different. I took a path of startup ecosystem and high-end entrepreneurship. He took a path of and he was rather he was taking a path because he worked before me in this particular area from the grassroots innovation. And as far as I understand, when I was at NAM and Dr. Kalpana Shastri was also there. We tried to bring in a lot of things within the grassroots innovations. We tried it that it should be supported by ICR, both financially as well as technically, because ICR has got a lot of understanding. And whenever we talk about grassroots innovation, we always have at one point differ that validation is important, and how the validation need to be done is the point of intentions whenever we used to do this type of discussions. We tried a lot. We tried one more project under our programs, that is area, that is attracting rural youth in agriculture. In that, actually, we wanted to bring some small innovations, not a small investment money to be given to innovators where he can be more comfortably do the things. But somehow at top level, top management level, that time it did not materialize. Now coming 5-year plan, we are now again preparing and come up a couple of things are also we are trying to incorporate in these things. But at the end of the day, it is the Planning Commission and Ministry of Finance that decides our fate as a formal system. However, as a understanding of innovations, understanding in this way, we from the agribusiness incubators always try to do a lot of help to the farmers. When I started agribusiness incubation at NAM, as I told you, we have taken a different road. But when we started 50 ABIs at different places, first 25 and another sector 25 in different institutions, we tried to understand that my type of entrepreneurship development may not be very viable and very long run. So our APIs are now actually looking into the grassroots level innovations, trying to make it sustainable at a local level, which Dr. Brigadier Ganesham has always told. As I told you, we have around 800, 900 entrepreneurs in 50 APIs, out of which more than 50% are local entrepreneurs and local people who are not able to talk, who did not have a formal education and who are not able to talk to the people of the lowest rank in the government sector, but still they are doing a business in this particular area without even investment, only a bit of technical tweaking along with the API group of scientist group of API in many of the places. I can give you a couple of examples out of that. But really, this journey of entrepreneurship, if you really keep it to your heart, it's a very, very good journey. And at the end of the day, you feel very satisfied that, yeah, yes, I did something good for the society at large. And this is what my feelings in that way. So whenever I talk about innovations, entrepreneurship, it may be at a grassroots level, it may be at an academic institution level, or it may be at a corporate level. All the three levels I have studied a lot, and every one has a different niche to be taken into the whole agribusiness. Because this type of grassroots level innovations, which you are talking at Palles Regina, are actually doing good in changing the quality of the product, which is nowadays in demand in most of the consumer society. India has become a consumer society as well as it's a producer society also. But consumer society preferences are changing a lot. Now they are going back to a bit of more organic and natural farms. Therefore, it was very heartening to see that for mixing of a Jivamrita, you have a very good mechanization in that particular area. Besides that, you have a lot of handheld devices that actually which are helping in not only seeding but weeding and all those things. These are all very good development in last 10 years. Definitely at every stage we have seen. We try to have a formal MOU from council level with National Innovation Foundation, which Brigadier has actually mentioned that definitely we need to go for this particular sector. But still, I think we are trying very hard to make our own system to converge it. Although we did a lot of research in terms of finding the grassroots innovations, we came up with indigenous technology for around 2 to 3 volumes of books we have come up at the ICR level. But converting it into a practical, sustainable thing has always been a challenge to us. And ARIA, many KVKs are actually running this ARIA program, which provides the farmer to validate their own technologies besides the technologies that the farmer can get from that particular KVKs. These are all basically, as you know, ICR is basically a research organization which actually looks into a whole gamut of agriculture for the whole of India. We have 103 institutes, out of which 50 ABIs are there, out of which around 30 ABIs are really working for the grassroots level at this point of time. So this is the basic thing which we are doing it. And hopefully this time we will get some budgetary allocations for doing the grassroots level innovation. Otherwise, I have my own plans to take it into a different way through our present ABIs to make it. I say I have a plan B, which a typical entrepreneurs always talk that you should have a plan B for making it. If I am here, definitely I'll be, in that case, we will be doing a formal formal agreement with many of the people like Palle Sujana for Andhra and Telangana, like Gujarat, they have got a society for a small scale innovation. Likewise, many societies are there through which we wanted to do it. But let us see what happens. I can tell you only that we are still in the creek. Dr. Kalpana Shastri can tell you, give you more light of what we have not able to achieve, but still our intentions are good and hopefully we will get it. Besides, I wanted to keep something very interesting issues with the group. The interesting issues are like that whenever we talk about any type of innovations, whether it's a grassroots level innovations or whether it's innovations in the formal sector, we talk about a lot about understanding the problem statements. And I can always say the problem faced by one individual, he can only tell the real problem is that you cannot actually understand. That is the difference between a grassroots innovation. He knows what exactly he has the problem. Once he understands the problem, he actually tries to solve it himself, unless until it is beyond his control and beyond his comprehensibility. So when he actually translates into them, and people around, if they see around in that way, they like to try that technology or that particular innovation for themselves. And there comes the rural visibility of that particular thing, and lot of things are there. And Palle Sujana type of organization or ICR being a formal through our KVKs, we can actually link these things to the mainstream. That is what I always thought of. And when we were discussing, a lot of discussions have been gone up, sometimes a bit of heated discussions also in this particular area. Everyone, we wanted to look into two things, that we have to move together, then success takes care of itself. And how we have to move together is the things that ICR and all the rural innovation institutions need to come up with that. And Brigadier Saab, I wanted to suggest one more thing in this way. We can have a separate meeting with the organizations at different states like this to understand how we can come up with a formal. NIF came as a formal organization from the Honeybee Network. That is one thing, that one thing has been very good. And Department of Science and Technology has taken the lead in that to make it there. ICR is still, we are grouping in our understanding this particular thing, how to execute this. This is what I just wanted to say. And my best wishes to Paleshrujana and all people involved in it and all innovators, and whatever the help that on my personal level, I am always ready to help you. Probably after retirement, I'll also join Brigadier Saab when I come back to Hyderabad to do a lot of work in the rural sector. With this, I think I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Srinivas Garu. It's amazing. You still have that same heart we know about about the entrepreneurship and the innovations and benefit to the people and the growth, sustainable growth. We are ready. Palestina will be always ready for anything you want us to do. And not that we want you to retire early, but whenever you are retired, you are welcome to come to Palestina. It will be our honor. Thank you very much. Akira.
Senior sir, thank you very, very much. I think you also carry a lot of energy in speaking. It was very nice to listen to you. Thank you very much for throwing a lot of insight. We also look forward to see the plan B that you talked about. We'll wait for Brigadier to share an email with us saying the plan B or the plan A has worked out really well. Okay, so moving on, I would request Mohanay Garu to please share a few words. It was very good to have you for the last webinar when we celebrated. Good to have you for the second celebration as well. So if you could speak a few words.
Yeah, good evening to all and namaste. It was a surprise for me to join this webinar. Of course, in any case, I would have joined either through the YouTube and watched the program. But asking me to speak was something which I did not expect. Yeah, and perhaps if DMD Surya Kumar's participation would have been more useful for the Palestina and also to all the participants. So at the outset, let me say that I am not representing NABARD, but with my experience in NABARD, I would be speaking in this. First of all, Guru Purnima Shubhakankshalu to all. I think it was a coincidence, perhaps the 75th webinar is happening on Guru Purnima, where Guru who removes the darkness and brings light onto the things. And Palestina is also doing the same thing on the innovations, focusing light on the innovations so that, people get benefit out of the innovations that are there in the field. I think on that note, let me also congratulate Palestina, particularly Brigadier Garu and Creative Minds Subhash Chandra Garu, because it is not an easy thing to have webinars week after week, and that too for 74 weeks continuously. I think it's a great effort on the part of the Palestina and the Creative Minds. So congratulations to both of you. I think it is kind of record also. I think such continuous webinars on a subject of this nature, I think it must be something new and something really good. And this also shows how we react to the situations. See, in the COVID, without this COVID, I don't think anybody would have thought about having webinars like this. So this, reacting to the COVID situation and continuing the good work, I think is another innovation on the part of the Palestina. So my congratulations to all of you, and also congratulations to all the participants in this, particularly the presentations which have been made in the webinar are really a top order, excellent presentations. I think they need to be disseminated further. And one more suggestion before I say anything else is the video that you have shown is very good and gives the contact numbers of the innovators and all. But my suggestion would be, please do away with that background music, which is a kind of distraction from seeing the innovation. Maybe with some commentary you can have about the innovation and how to, how farmers could benefit from that. I think it would be a better thing to do a different way of presenting the innovations, and not so many at a time, but maybe 10, 15 at a time, I think would be a better suggestion. And this should be available on your website and also on the YouTube channels. So it would be easier for people to see them, and also in case they would like to contact the concerned innovators. I think that would be from what I've seen. And I'm fortunate I was part of the 50th your webinar, and I'm uninvited or invited guest for the 75th webinar. Now, some of the observations that I would like to make, and which Srinivas Garu from ICR is there, and I wish DSC Secretary was also there. What we need to do further to everybody talked of the sustainability of not only the farming, but sustainability of the innovations itself. Because if the innovation is not supported, and I'm sure many such innovations are there which have not seen the light. So Palestina has not reached them. So what needs to be done? I think your topic of leveraging grassroots innovations by formal system, I think that is a very thought-provoking subject that you have chosen. My suggestion would be, first is, I think in the NABARD, when I was there in NABARD, and we had something called a Rural Innovation Fund, which was supported by Swiss Development Initiative. But after the project was over, even NABARD is also not in a position to support the rural innovations. So what I would request is setting up of a, maybe you can call anything, but I thought Pradhana Mantri Gramina Avishkanla Nidhi, or Prime Minister's Rural Innovation Fund, something like that, if it could be set up. And where it should be set up and all could be a matter of detail, whether it could be with ICR, or whether it could be with NABARD, or whether it could be, or a new organization could also be made. You need to have a formal organization, but which will be working in an informal way. So if that kind of organization should be there to support the innovators. So if if reaching the organization itself and getting sanctions and getting approvals is going to take a lot of time, innovators will be disheartened. So we need a kind of organization to implement this kind of what you call fund. What I am saying is, you need an organization which will be working on informal lines, a formal organization working on informal lines. I think that is what maybe ICR could think of, or DST could think of, or even NABARD could have. If DMD had participated, perhaps we could have heard something more on that also. Because NABARD had that Rural Innovation Fund, which is not there. Even suggestion also could go to NABARD that to reintroduce the Rural Innovation Fund, because from the profits of NABARD, different funds are created. So Rural Innovation Fund is the need of the hour. It could be done. So it could be taken up with NABARD also. And several things have been said. One is now Palestina is working in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana and trying to bring out the innovations from these two states. But I'm not aware about the such organizations in other states, where I'm sure the innovators are there in all the states and all the places. So an organized effort to identify such innovators and bring those innovations to the limelight, and making the life of farmers easier with those innovations, or making the lives of different people, not only farmers, but even non-farm sector, like Malaysian's innovation as is the weaving sector. And today, Pochampalli is surviving only because of that innovation. So maybe So we need Palestrojanas in different states. If they are already there, maybe a networking of Palestrojana with them is required. If such organizations are not there, then how do we institutionalize Palestrojana in other states? I think that is another thing which we need to focus. Maybe some of the participants who are in the position to do something about this, if they take initiative, it would be good. Now, other suggestions to which I would like to come is this Palestrojana magazine is very useful, and it helps showcasing the innovations in a way that farmers can understand and get in touch with them. So this, till such we have Palestrojanas in different states, whether it will be possible to support Palestrojana of Andhra and Telangana to publish this magazine in Hindi and English, at least to begin with. Because reaching out to Telugu magazine is very good and useful for the Telugu people. But this message has to go to, or this information has to go to other people also. At least if it is published in Hindi, it can reach out to 8-9 states. And English, at least it will go to the academic institutions and all, so that would be good. So how do we get this Palestrojana magazine published in different languages is one of the issues which I would like to raise in this forum, and whether we can find a solution for this, I think would be a good thing. What I mentioned about the a formal organization which will work in an informal way. Nowadays, we are all seeing that government is also encouraging farmer producers organizations. Can we have otherwise a formal innovators organization? Maybe we could register, and I'm seeing in the biodata of Dr. Srinivas Garu that ICR has some private entity also. I was reading in this one. So can we have a promoted by innovators itself? This organization could be promoted by innovators itself, and maybe it would be run in an informal way by some of the volunteers and all. So whether Palestojana or the ICR could take lead for setting up such an organization, a formal organization which will work in an informal way. I think this is another thing which I wanted to mention. The programs which Palestojana has mentioned in the presentation, particularly the certification of herbal healers and things like that, I think that needs to be given more publicity, because there are several people, and the formal medical system does not recognize them or does not encourage them. But without side effects, if some treatment has to be taken place, we have seen how effective they are. I think how do we popularize this is one issue which I would like to place before the Palestojana. For the next level, how do we take it to the next level is one of the things. And even this Me Samasya Ma Parishkaram is also how do we make it? Because even today, see, I have left NABARD almost 7-8 years back. Even now, I receive calls from the farmers saying, "Sir, we have this problem. What should we do?" Unfortunately, I'm neither a technical person or an innovator. So only thing I do is direct them to the people who can help them. So whether can we make this more popular so that the farmers could pose their problems and get their solutions for them. And nowadays, most of the organizations are making effective use of the digital platforms. Whether Palestojana also can think of an app where people could easily access the Palestojana's innovations and also get more information about the innovators and reach out to the innovators directly. So that is also whether can we think of. So that is one suggestion. And since I was not prepared to participate, I was only to be a spectator or a witness to the program. So these are some of my loud thinking which I wanted to share with you. So I must thank the organizers, particularly Brigadier Garu and also Akhila for giving me this opportunity to share my thinking on the subject. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Sir, thank you very much. At the bottom of my heart, we apologize for short notice. But I think with this short notice, you came out with amazing suggestions. If we had given time, I think we would have got more richer experience of yours. For the audience, I just want to share with you, Mohan Garu was CGM of Unified Andhra Pradesh. And he was such a great help to Palestine in the initial stages. He used the Rural Innovation Fund for it is meant for. And so many innovators are promoted. And he worked in a formal system, but the way he says, in informal he worked. He proved that it is possible with sitting in the system. Now, maybe talk about outside, but it's possible to do formal system for informal for the betterment of the society. Amazing. So we are always impressed by you, and thank you very much for today.
Thank you so much.
Somebody is showing up. Please stop this sharing. Please stop sharing. Yeah. Akhila, go ahead.
Mohan Garu, thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.
Yes, sir, it's so impressive. It did not sound like you're not prepared. It did not sound like nobody, until you tell everybody that you came as a guest, nobody knows that you came as a guest. You spoke so well, and so delighted to hear from you. So many insightful points that you had told. I felt like noting down. Thank you very much, sir. So we also, it's an honor today. We have amazing guests with us. Almatra ma'am, welcome to the webinar. It's the first time we heard a lot about you from Brigadier. The first time, it's excited to listen from you. Can you please unmute and also share a few words about what you think right now?
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a surprise to have to speak, but I would like to share an experiment from COVID times, which help Pallis Srijana replicate itself. There was talk of unspent NABARD funds, and I'm sure other ministries also have unspent funds. Instead of just giving a loan and recovering the money, I helped a company provide CSR funding to the returning migrants. They were all walking home in the early days. They would all go home. They would all be an added mouth, an added burden on their families whom they had already left for economic reasons to earn in the city. So I'll give a simple arithmetic example. They gave a grant, a one-time grant to an NGO of 24 lakhs to be given as, say, 24,000 rupee loans to 100 migrants to start anything they want: bicycle repair, mobile repair, cyber something, whatever. And they were to return it within 2 years to that NGO. So 1,000 rupees a month over 24 months, their loan would be cleared. And what the NGO did was, from 100 people getting 1,000 rupees a month, that was 1 lakh of rupees that came in every month. So it was a revolving loan. The grant was one time. And from that 1 lakh a month, they could loan again 24,000 to 4 new beneficiaries, and so on. And it also motivated the borrowers to repay more sincerely when they knew that someone like them was waiting for their money to start up something on their own. I think it would have had a beneficial impact. And the month, the 100 initial beneficiaries, 4 lakhs, at the end of 2 years became 200 people who had benefited, 100 who had cleared their loans and 100 new ones. And this will be an ongoing cycle of revolving loan. So I feel that all the government organizations and CSR and other people can give this one-time grant. They may not see interest from it, but they will see how it multiplies and benefits double the number of initial people every 2 years. So I think Palesrujana can consider getting grants like this. Maybe all these innovations that we see, 24,000 may not be enough for producing equipment like that, but you get the idea, the principle of it.
Yes.
So that's what I'd like to share. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And you have been always a kind of a guiding force for Palestina since we met about 6-7 years back. And thanks for your time today. We are grateful to you.
I always enjoy hearing your congratulations on all that you're doing.
Akila.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So good to hear you. We've been, like I said, we've been hearing about you from Brigadier. All the volunteers at Padasana know Almatra ma'am, but I think most of us seeing you for the first time. So nice to see you. Thank you very much for sharing your.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so I now invite Kalpana Sastry Garu. Brigadier, can you please send the screen for me?
Yeah, I'm here. Just a minute.
I will say a few words about you, ma'am.
No need. Okay, go ahead. Have your pleasure.
Good.
Okay, so I will.
Yeah. Go ahead, Akila. Slides are ready.
No.
So you want to share first?
No, she wants to introduce me.
Yes. I want to introduce you. I was asking for that slide. I will do it myself.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, for all of us who know you, we know you. For all of us who don't know who Kalpana ma'am is, Kalpana Sastry Garu, the first thing to say is that she's been there with Padasana since inception, since 2005. That's the first thing to say. She's been a long-lasting volunteer. We have all come much later. Ma'am has been always there since the beginning. So she's a distinguished agricultural scientist with nearly 3 decades of experience in the areas of agricultural research, technology, commercialization, intellectual property, and innovation management, etc. Her research areas include agricultural innovation, intellectual property management systems, and policy issues in agricultural research and education management. Currently leading the team at AG Hub Foundation, Center for Innovation and Agri Entrepreneurship at Professor Jayashankar, Telangana State Agricultural University, Hyderabad. Srimati Chandaben Mohanbai Patel Vasik Award for Best Women Scientist at the national level. She's received that. She's also the Fulbright Senior Research Fellowship she's received the fellowship at the international level. So, ma'am, excited to hear from you. Yes. So you're representing Palestina.
Yeah. I'm at the intersection of both. I had told Brigadier that I may not be able to speak. I'm actually having cough syrup and all. My throat is extremely very bad. But I just couldn't resist. So I actually raised my hand. Yes. First of all, congrats to the Palestina team. great going. 75 is a big, big landmark. And I love being part of the 50th and the 75th. So I personally think it's my honor, not anything beyond that. It's definitely my honor. I had made 3 slides. I was just thinking, it's even in the 50th, I had added, at least in this, I don't know when, but I still hope and I keep hoping that the formalized or institutionalization of grassroots innovators in the system will take place someday. I actually hope. And so when Dr. Monayagar was talking, it just struck to me, I'm going beyond the slides also. One, ICR, Dr. Srinivas, is just my suggestion because I'm not, I have retired from ICR, so I can only give you a suggestion. Sometime back in ICR, we had made a grassroots innovation fund. We called it Grassroots GIF or something like that. We had given an acronym.
That is what I was referring to.
Now, what I was thinking is, we need support. This is again with my little experience with grassroots. Principally, they need mini farmers required the process for variety protection. I mean, institutions are there, PPFR is there, everything is there. The university research farms have to do it, but farmers need technical as well as the waiver of the monetary compulsions they have to put at different stage of dust testing. I think that's a very easy job from your office. If you can put up for farmer variety, the technical help, I'm sure it can be easily done, so that difficulty, it's a very small difficulty maybe, but actually means a lot to many farmers. I think Brigadier Garu will agree. The journey which we have faced in Telangana has not been easy, and it still not is. In grassroots innovations, you have many mechanized models. You would have seen in the video, a lot of small ones. So our Center for what is that? CIAE, Agriculture Engineering Institute in Bhopal, and the one in Orissa, the Women Institute, both work on small tools. One for removing the drudgery of women, and others in that. And they have a special center in Bhopal Institute.
Kalpana garu, sorry for interruption. We have our chief guest, Dr. Chandrasekhar is joined us. Welcome, Chandrasekhar garu, and thanks for joining. I know you're traveling and you managed to join us. It's a great honor for us to have you around. We'll once Kalpana garu finishes, we'll request you to address the gathering.
I'll be
Thank you
very
very much.
fast. So I was just thinking, under these two, and then of course continuing that grassroots innovations through the already KVKs are doing. Can we formalize that scouting part and be partner with Palasujna at least in the 2 Telangana states? That will be itself 2 Telugu states. That itself will be a model for you to take it at a larger, at the national level. So 3 specific areas, if we can start now. The other part of planning commission and all are things which will take time. And if you are able to get the special fund for innovation, we don't give complete grant. I know Brigadier sir will get angry with me, but put 20% or 10% as a commitment from the innovator. Brigadier Garu, I'm saying this out of our own personal experience at now. A total grant in the long run doesn't work. So a commitment from the from Palasujna or the grassroots with the a higher amount commitment from the institution should set the pace. Now, can I have the next slide?
Yeah.
Similarly, DST also can think, and I need the next slide. Doesn't matter. In case
DST
of
is gone. Okay.
DST is the same thing. I thought there was no MOU, but I'm wrong. Again, Dr. Chandrasekhar Garu will be a better person than me. But can we have some sort of, at a higher top management level, like the BIRAC grant, which comes from, even Srinivas, you also know about it, a specific grant which will be for investments or grants for grassroots innovators from Government of India in the BIRAC model, in the big grant model. I mean, if that can be done, a lot of efforts can be. We've had earlier episodes where our own grassroots innovators had to compete with other aspiring startups, from the formal sector for big grant. And that is not a level playing ground. So we need that either from DBT or DST, a small fund which can be actually meant for, on the parallel lines of big grant scheme of the BIRAC, which can be actually for grassroots innovation. If that is done, they can at least compete there. I'm not saying give it free or a freebie. Let them earn it, but give them that space of a level playing ground. There are many grassroots innovators who have been part of Raftar, but somehow there are a lot of challenging moments, and those have to be removed under this special grant. In the third one, in NABARD, this is again, whatever I'm speaking out of my own experience, and these are maybe taken as suggestions. I feel I was part, Monai Garu, about when Rural Innovation Fund was there. It was a pleasure to be associated and even help, Malnesham Garu or even Guru, all these innovators who have actually benefited them. It was a pleasure for us to work with them. I think this can be done. If Dr. Surya Kumar, DGM had come from NABARD, now NABARD has got 7 what we call incubation centers. AgHub is itself a grantee of it. So we have in the Telugu speaking states 2 incubation centers supported by NABARD. We are under those schemes, there is a small provision for bootstrapping fund, which we give it for a small fund, about 3 to 4 lakhs, but we are giving, in this year we started, there is a grassroots innovator who was given a small grant. Can we use these incubators of the NABARD to revive that RTFE fund and to start off in these 7 centers with a mandate that grassroots innovation fund, like the bootstrap fund, should be implemented for 4 to 5 grassroots innovators per year. That will set entire thing in place, because we have the protocols in place to give the grants, the matching grant, everything is there for bootstrapping fund. Similar model can be done. But if NABARD can be requested to think of this small fund, 20-30 lakh per year is not a big thing. As you said, rightfully from its own, funds, savings. Later, we can promote these investments to the NAB ventures in a bigger way. That's a totally different way. But this much, if we can do, our dream of institutionalizing in a formal platform, I think that can be achieved. This is what I actually wanted to say. Sorry, I have a very bad throat and I'm not able to talk more than this.
Right. Now we'll stop sharing. Yeah, thank you very much, Kalpana ji. Chandrasekhar garu, can I? Thanks. We are not able to see you. Will you be able to?
Sir, namaste. Good evening to all of you. Sorry, actually, I'm in the car now, and I'm on a very low bandwidth going from one place to other place. I told you already that that's my challenge today, but I'm glad I could join at least for some time, and I was able to see the presentation made just now, and I would be happy to work with you. Brigadier, I think DST has done best we could do, but I think the slides were really eye-opener to me. Maybe my request to Brigadier is whatever presentation today, which I missed, if you could really share to me. Maybe I'll try to connect to our National Innovation Foundation director and also to my seed and see how best we could really take up these activities more aggressively.
Yeah. Just for briefly, what we did today was we were showcasing our 75th webinar. In 74 webinars, weekly webinars we conducted since October 20, about 270 odd grassroots innovations pertaining to almost every aspect of the livelihood in the rural areas were presented by respective innovators. And the audience were everybody, formal sector, informal sector, everybody was there. And YouTube also ran those who could see later. The impressions of participants and the overall impact, what we saw in last 74 weeks was presented today briefly. What we understand, Dr. Chandrasekhar, is that these innovators are looking into society's livelihood in the villages and the towns. ICAR has over 100 establishments which take care of various focus points. There's a pain, they find a solution. Now the solution is there, how good is there, how standard is there, is a point which is worth examining later. But there is a knowledge, there is a creativity, there is a response, there is samvedana. Now it is across the country. We are only sharing our last 70 years experience. Now, do we forget it? Do we ignore it? Or we do leverage this? That's the question. Now, the existing institutions have done a lot, but I think more to be done has been brought out by Kalpana Shastri Garu and other speakers today. That separate view, that category of grassroots innovations as a vertical has to be done from national level to the lowest level with separate allocations, separate kind of approach, separate models, not the models of what we have in the formal system. I think that way, if we can think and do it ab initio as a new process, we will be able to leverage them very well. And instead of replacing what villages have, we can add on to what they have, their strength. That was the idea. Thanks for coming. And if you want to say something more, we'll more than pleased to listen to you.
Yeah, thank you, Brigadier. I hope I'm audible to all of you. Thanks. I think my personal apologies, but coming back on grassroots innovations, honestly, the current government has been giving a major push on these grassroots innovations. While, as rightly said, maybe what we have done, the model may not continue for so long and it may not give the products what we were expecting. But as the previous presenter, which I could see, whether we could come up with a model like a big grant of BIRAC, which DBT operates, could it be extended to grassroots innovations? I think this is something we could really explore. And let me check with our finance teams and see how we could really earmark some funds exclusively in the model of BIG that we could honestly do on a fast track. While Brigadier, the money is one part, which I think would come somehow if the technology is good, if it has a potential to go forward. I'm sure money now or little later would come into the into the project. But I'm also trying to understand, Brigadier, is if you could really, as I told, while our National Innovation Foundation in Ahmedabad has been trying to work whatever little they could do with the resources what they have. Today, because I wanted to join on this call, I also had a small briefing from the director of that institute there. While the claims are very, very tall, that over 1,000 patents have been protected using the innovators' knowledge and handholding was done. But then whether those patents have really become products or whether it has become a business model for the innovator. which I think we have not done a socio-economic analysis of this activity. So one suggestion I have, Brigadier, is if you could really make a small team of 3 or 4 experts which are there on the call today. Maybe we could have a dedicated roundtable with your team, and I'll make sure that not only National Innovation Foundation leadership, including their council chair, and a few other colleagues from DST who have been working on programs. Actually, we do multiple activities, not in the name of grassroots innovation. For example, we have a program called SEED, where we try to connect to underprivileged communities like SC, ST, if they have any knowledge available, whether the science, what we do, can reach them, kind of activities. And I know your verticals range from agriculture. I know you have been trying to see whether health sector can get some grassroots innovations, giving some solace to the sufferers at the low cost. And of course, when we are talking of organic farming, what is that we could really take forward? Then, if you really segregate agriculture versus health sector, which are the technologies we should push uh, with larger inputs of finances and also some technical support from the national institutes? Again, you're aware, ICT tried with Seshu a little bit with you. And I mean, it traveled a little distance, but I don't know whether it really reached the end point. Abruptly, I came here now. So, if you think we need some major push, and as the previous presenter was talking, that if you think yearly giving 5, 6 grants in the form of BIG, not 50 lakhs, but maybe 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, whatever is required, with the mentorship of an organization. Because end of the day, a grant can be given to an institute organization, but difficult to give to individual. In the BIG also, individual also need to have a small company or affiliated to some industry or an academic institute. So let me ask my team to work with BIRAC, whether that model could be inculcated with small changes, because it may need some differences for grassroots innovations. So we'll make sure that that happens very quickly, which certainly will take up, because we are at the beginning of the financial year. So we continue to have funds to operate. And also, I think one of the comments was that while the National Research Foundation, which has been on the cards and a lot of push has been given by the government now, and that should be in place in the next few months, hopefully. Whether a vertical in that could be created exclusively for the grassroots innovations.
Yes, yes,
That
yes.
I think I'll because I'll talk to principal scientific advisor with whom we work very closely, whether a separate vertical could be created for that. I think that we will take up on priority. Then, when we look at the grassroots innovations, not just for interventions in agriculture and health sector, but is there any other sector where we could really give some impetus? And we have been working with Northeast very closely, and we have very special programs through donor ministry. And the innovations at the Northeast need a different kind of interventions compared to what come from, for example, South India, or for example, East or West. So also would like to make some verticals, which grassroots innovations need what kind of interventions. And we'll try to make a small task force and expand our activities of a National Innovation Foundation, and see that whatever debate, discussion you have initiated today will get into some meaningful endpoints. Having said that, many a times when, even if the grassroots innovation has taken some shape, we have realized that unless design element is put into the products, we'll not be able to take the product on a scale. Today, whether he's a farmer or in urban or rural or semi-urban, people like to look the product which is handy, which look little more elegant, and also performs better than what is there in the market already. So we also will try to see whether a little design element could also be incorporated into these grassroots innovations in consultation with the groups working on the design. So these things we will certainly take on top priority, Brigadier. I'll make sure that if once you identify a small core team from your side, very quickly, maybe in the next 4 or 5 days, we could have a quick conference call. I'll make sure that all our teams are connected to you and see what is the push we could give from DST. I stop here, Brigadier. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chandrasekhar. I think I wish, without seeing the entire thing, you addressed so well, and the kind of initiatives you suggested are very, very encouraging, and it filled our hearts. Thank you very much for being here. Despite your travel engagement, you managed to come. Absolutely honored to hear you. Yeah.
Brigadier, I'll be awaiting your small team interacting with us. If you desire that the team should come physically and spend a day with our team, I'll be happy to take care of the logistics. See that your team could come to Delhi. I'll put you to right people, and we quickly make some decisions in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you very much. I'll get back to you on this email or WhatsApp. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, Akhila, over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been, we heard that you've been traveling, and thank you for still trying to connect with us. It's an honor to have you.
So you have...
So we come to an end now, right, Brigadier?
Yeah. Yes, okay. You can thank everybody who have come here profusely. Do that.
All right, so I'll take this opportunity to express gratitude to everybody who is present here, who stayed from the beginning till the end, participated in the conversations. Firstly, thank you very much to all the guests who've come. Thank you, Chandrasekhar Garu. Thank you, Srinivas Garu. Thank you, Kalpana ma'am. Thank you, Mona Gayu, for instantly speaking, but solidly giving us some insights. Thank you very, very much. And also a very big thanks to Subhash, because it is because of him that we're all celebrating, getting here today, connecting like this. It's a huge, huge impact that his initiative has made with Palli Sujna's support. I think this truly deserves a big celebration like this. And I'm sure we're doing justice to the celebration, inviting so many eminent personalities here. I would also like to thank innovators, without whom this wouldn't have been possible. No webinars, nothing would have been possible. So very big thank you to innovators, and also all the participants who have been actively participating in the webinars, sharing their inputs, sharing their suggestions, their feedback. People from different sectors participating. They proved time and again that webinars are not meant for just farmers and innovators, but also to anybody from any sector. Any age group can always take something back from being part of the webinars. I would also like to thank all the volunteers, because the greatest strength of Palli Sujna is volunteers. And today, success is the 75th celebration, webinar celebration success. And therefore, many volunteers behind this. And thank you to all the volunteers who directly or indirectly involved in this. And also thank you to all the well-wishers of Palli Sujna. Thank you to other guests. Almitra ma'am, a special thanks to you. Like I said, I wouldn't mind saying it again. Thanks for coming. It's very good to see you. Kalpana ma'am, thank you. I thought I wouldn't thank you because you're part of us, but I'll still thank you because you spoke for us besides falling ill, trying. You try to come and the celebration is full now. Thank you very, very much, everybody. Brigadier, last thanks to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good night. Good night.
Bye, everybody. Good night.
Akhila, photo తీసుకుందామా?
Yeah. Before you all leave, can you all turn on your cameras? We'll quickly take a picture. Okay. All right, so I will do that. Give me a minute.
Yeah, I think people have left.
Many people have left, but I'm trying to